All right. Let's talk about this little guy here, the DJI FPV drone, and how to fly in manual mode. If you are the lucky owner of an Android phone, as of today's date, DJI has not released the simulators for Android. And you will have to rely on the information that you possibly could find online or on the manual to try to achieve successful flying with the DJI FPV, and this is probably not going to get you anywhere. So I'm going to post a little marker. I'm going to put a little marker in the video so you can jump directly to what I call the secret of flying in manual mode. But if you want to stick around, I'll give you some kind of background information on why I decided to create that video to inform everyone else about flying in manual. If you are unfamiliar with FPV flying, if you've been flying your drone like I have for the last few years with GPS assisted drone such as the Phantom, the Mavic, the Mini, and whatever other brands out there that use GPS and to assist you flying, you will find the experience very, very different. And all the videos that I watch online where they tell you to practice in normal or sports mode to fly in manual, this is not gonna get you where you want to be. The controls are drastically different in the way that the drone operates from manual to classic mode, normal mode, whatever you want to call it. And you will not be able to get that information unless you have the simulators and you get all the way in their training to the third courses. So it's not even something that you're going to find easily. You have to stick through their trainings, which is also pretty difficult to go. I mean, first training course is asking you without needed information to go through some gate straight out. And it is pretty difficult still because they don't teach you how to use the controller, which is the big thing about it. So if you stick to that third courses, and I was able to do it because I have an iPad, and after getting frustrated in trying to figure out on my own how to fly in manual and not being successful, I decided to give it a try with the training because I couldn't find the information anywhere, and everything that I read was or watched was pretty much incorrect or not getting me where I wanted. So I used the training, I got to the third video, or the third course, and finally I was told what I needed to do so I could fly properly. Now, the first few tries I tried to fly on my own without doing any training. I've done everything that was indicated by other pilots or from the manual. DJI, switch my controllers to remove the tension in the joysticks so they don't reset to the center. Calibrate, stuff, do the whole configuration through the FPV goggles, etc. So I've done all of that. And I put my drone in the air and I tried to, move it like I used to move it with normal or sports. And the drone was reacting completely weird. Moving my sticks on the right was getting it to, bank way too much. And I had to use the brake every single time to recover from it. Now, of course, for FPV pilots out there, that will sound like, well, that's how we fly. But for the other pilot that have been using normal or sports mode, this is very, very different. So I couldn't figure it out on my own. And as I say, I've been flying for quite a few years, so I know to fly. But then I watched Wu's video, or I did that training, that third courses, and in the beginning of the third course, they tell you what is the secret to fly in FPV with this little guy. Could be different for other FPV drone. I don't have that experience, but for this drone, this is the way that you're supposed to fly it. When you watch that course, what they tell you is if you want to turn, if you want to really guide your drone, maneuvers your drone, you have to use both sticks at the same time. So if you were to try to go right or left, you will use both sticks in sync to turn, and then you have to recompensate with for your horizon. So as soon as you left your turn, you will want to go back. I mean, it all depends, of course, on the way that you're trying to fly. If you're trying to go through obstacles and stuff, you will learn little by little to use the joystick properly. But for the first few flights, when you want to try, this is what you got to do. You have to fly with your buff sticks so you can control the drone properly. If you start using only one stick, for example, like the way you used to do with the normal mode or the sports mode, as soon as you're gonna press that stick, the drone is gonna go really out of control. It's gonna go haywire, and you're gonna be like, what is happening? That's what was happening to me. And I got frustrated for 15 minutes. 15 minutes of flying, which is pretty much as much of the battery is. It was not fun. And I stuck around. I felt like there's something that I got to figure out why I cannot fly it. I use a simulator, which is going to be pretty hard for people that don't have access to an iOS device. But that information that I'm giving you hopefully will help you figure out what needs to be done. Put your drone in the air, fly it high enough, pretty high, and switch to manual. You will have to do the little configuration or whatever it is to get the sticks in place. And at that point, when you start moving, don't move only with one stick. Move with both sticks. So, try to accelerate, get some speed, try to move straight, and then try to do your first turn. And as you're trying to do your first turn, do it with both stick, left and right, and you will see that your drone is going to react properly, the same way that you are able to fly it in normal or sports mode. After that, you can keep on training and practicing, and you're gonna go get better. In FPV, I am not quite there myself at all, but I've tried it, and I could get control again. I could fly properly, the way that I was used to fly in regular mode. So that's what I call the little secret of flying, which unfortunately no one is telling you. None of the video that I've seen, nor the manual tells you if you want to fly in FPV, you have to use buff stick to control your drone. Might be, a very well-known fact for all FPV pilots out there. For the pilots that are coming from regular GPS-assisted flying, I never knew that, and that caused me a lot of frustration. So hopefully that will get you there in the air and being able to enjoy your drone. This is a fantastic drone, so you will be able to fly after doing this, and you'll be able to practice. So I'm hoping that this video will get you the needed information and that you'll enjoy flying again. Cheers.